The space diner floated silently in the darkness of the outer sector. Its bright neon lights cut through the black void like a beacon, a lonely splash of color in the endless stars. Ships of all shapes and sizes hovered near the docking bay, their engines humming softly. The smell of sizzling protein packs and strange alien spices drifted through the air vents. The diner was small but crowded, filled with aliens of many kinds. Some ate, some talked, and some watched others with careful eyes. But in the corner, near a large window that looked out into space, sat a dragon girl. She was not like the others. Her scales glinted faintly under the neon lights, but one of her wings was broken. She tried to keep it hidden under her jacket, but the edges of it stuck out, catching the attention of everyone nearby. She clutched a steaming cup of liquid that smelled sharp and bitter. Her tail curled tightly around her chair, and her eyes, a golden shade like molten metal, were wary and quiet. She had come here for a meal, nothing more. But the moment she entered the diner, trouble found her. A group of aliens at a nearby table noticed her immediately. They were tall and spindly, with green skin and long fingers that ended in claws. Their eyes gleamed with mischief and cruelty. One of them, a lanky male with a crooked smile, whispered something to the others. They laughed quietly at first, making sure she could hear. Then their whispers turned into shouts. "Look at her!" one of them shouted. "A broken dragon, trying to eat like the rest of us." The dragon girl flinched. She had expected stares, maybe whispers, but not open mockery. Her heart beat fast. Her claws dug into the edge of the table, leaving small scratches in the metal. She tried to look away, to pretend she did not hear them, but the laughter grew louder. One of the aliens stood and leaned over her table. "Why don't you fly away, little girl? Your wings are broken. You don't belong here." Her tail lashed. Her body tensed. She wanted to fight back, but she knew she could not. Not with one wing. Not against them. She had learned long ago that resisting only brought more pain. Her eyes darted around the diner, searching for someone, anyone, who could help, but everyone else seemed too afraid or too busy to notice. Then, without warning, one of the aliens struck her. Not a full punch, but a slap, harsh and mocking, across her cheek. The diner fell quiet for a moment, but the aliens laughed even louder. The dragon girl's head snapped to the side. Pain flared, hot and sharp. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them away, refusing to cry. She wanted to disappear, to vanish into the shadows and never be seen again. But she could not. As she sat there, trembling and hurt, a soft vibration ran through the floor. It was faint at first, almost unnoticeable, but it grew stronger. Her golden eyes widened. Something was approaching. She did not know what, but it was not like the usual traffic outside. The aliens noticed it too, glancing at the windows and the humming floor with confusion. The diner doors slid open with a hiss. A few more aliens came in, curious, but they were not the source of the vibration. It was coming from the docking bay, outside the diner. A soft red light flashed across the room, bouncing off the walls and the shiny metal tables. The dragon girl's heart raced. She did not understand it, but she felt it in her chest. Something was coming, something big. The aliens at her table paused, their laughter dying down. They whispered to each other, glancing nervously at the door. Whatever was coming, they had not expected it. The diner's other patrons shifted in their seats, some leaving quietly, some peeking toward the windows. The tension in the room was sharp, like a knife cutting through metal. The dragon girl took a deep breath. Her claws had left small grooves in the table, but she did not care. She kept her eyes on the window, watching the red light pulse with steady rhythm. It was strange, almost mechanical, but filled with power. The vibration under her feet grew stronger, almost like the heartbeat of something alive, something enormous. Then the humming stopped. Silence fell like a blanket. Even the aliens stopped moving. The dragon girl's wings twitched involuntarily, the broken one aching as if it knew something was about to happen. Her golden eyes reflected the red light now filling the diner, painting everyone in strange, harsh colors. From the corner of her eye, she saw the diner doors swing open again. This time it was humans. They walked in quietly, but with a presence that filled the room. They were mechanics carrying tools and gadgets, but there was something in their eyes that made the aliens pause. Not fear exactly, but respect or maybe caution. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. They had heard rumors about humans, about their skill and their power, but seeing them in person was different. The dragon girl's stomach twisted. Could these humans help her? Could they stop the aliens from laughing and hitting her? She did not dare hope too much. She had been disappointed before. The humans walked slowly toward the center of the diner. One of them stopped near the dragon girl and gave her a small nod. That simple gesture sent a spark of hope through her chest. She sat up straighter, her tail curling a little less tightly around her chair. The aliens noticed the interaction, their eyes narrowing, their claws tightening on the table edges. "Who are these humans?" one of them muttered, trying to sound brave, but the words trembled. The humans did not answer immediately. They scanned the diner, their eyes sharp, calculating, and patient. The dragon girl could see the muscles in their arms, the tools at their belts, but more importantly, she could feel their focus, their intelligence, their readiness. They were not there to eat, not there to talk. They were there to act. The aliens laughed nervously, trying to keep their confidence, but it faltered. One of them tried to step closer to the dragon girl, but a human raised a hand. The gesture was simple, but it carried weight. The alien froze. The room seemed to hold its breath. Time slowed. The dragon girl's chest rose and fell quickly. She felt pain from the slap earlier, but it was fading, replaced by a strange, trembling hope. She did not know what the humans would do, but she knew something was about to change. The aliens were no longer the only ones in control. The red light outside pulsed again, stronger this time, reflecting in the diner's windows like a warning. The dragon girl leaned slightly forward, trying to see the source. Her broken wing ached, her tail twitched, but her golden eyes were fixed on the docking bay. The humming started again, low and steady, like the heartbeat of a giant. Then, a shadow moved across the floor of the diner. It was large, larger than any ship she had seen dock here. The humming grew louder, and the vibration stronger. The aliens stepped back instinctively, their bravado slipping. The dragon girl's claws dug into the edge of the table again, not from fear, but from determination. She did not know what would happen next, but she knew one thing. Things were changing. The humans had arrived. She was no longer alone, and the aliens who had laughed at her, who had struck her, would soon learn that some beings were not to be underestimated. The diner seemed smaller now, the lights harsher, the shadows longer. The dragon girl straightened in her seat, ready to face whatever came next. Outside, in the dark void of space, something massive waited, something alive, something unstoppable. And somewhere, just beyond the diner doors, humans moved quietly, their presence subtle but full of promise. The dragon girl's heart pounded. For the first time in a long time, she did not feel helpless. She felt hope. The aliens' laughter had stopped. The space diner had fallen silent. And in the quiet, the signal came through, strong and clear, carrying a message that only a few could understand. Change was coming, and no one in this diner would ever be the same. The air in the space diner felt heavier now. The neon lights flickered slightly as if sensing the tension. The dragon girl's golden eyes darted between the aliens and the humans who had quietly entered the diner. The aliens were uneasy, their claws tapping nervously on the tables. The laughter that had filled the room earlier was gone, replaced by a low hum of worry. The humans moved slowly but with purpose. They were mechanics carrying small toolkits and devices, but their eyes were sharp and alert. Every step they took made the aliens glance at one another, unsure of what would come next. One human, tall and broad-shouldered, stopped near the center of the diner. He didn't speak, but his gaze swept over the room like a predator studying its prey. The dragon girl's broken wing twitched involuntarily. She felt a mixture of fear and hope. These humans were strange, unlike anyone she had ever met. Their confidence was calm, Not loud or aggressive, but it filled the room. She could feel the tension in the air rise with every silent step they took. One of the alien bullies, the one who had slapped her earlier, tried to laugh it off. "Who do they think they are?" he whispered. "Just a few humans. They can't do anything to us." But the others were not so sure. They glanced nervously at the humans, their confidence slowly fading. Even the other diner patrons, aliens who had been watching from a distance, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Something about the humans' presence made them feel exposed, vulnerable. The dragon girl's tail curled tighter around her chair. She noticed the smallest details. The way the humans' boots made no sound on the floor, the precise way they held their tools, the calm in their eyes. They weren't just here by chance. They had come for a reason, and it involved her. Suddenly, one of the humans reached into his toolkit and pulled out a small device that looked like a scanner. It hummed quietly, sending a faint blue light across the floor. The aliens froze. The scanner's light swept over them, reading their movements and likely analyzing their strength. One of the aliens stepped back, fear flickering across his face. The dragon girl's heart beat faster. She didn't understand all the technology the humans used, but she could feel its power. These humans were capable. They were different from the beings she had met before. The broken wing that had held her back felt a little lighter, as if hope itself had begun to mend her. The tall human crouched slightly near her table. He didn't speak, but he extended a hand toward her. Not in threat, but in reassurance. The dragon girl hesitated, then placed her clawed hand in his. The contact was brief, but it sent a wave of courage through her chest. She could face them now. Maybe. The aliens at the nearby table whispered furiously among themselves. "They're just humans," one said, trying to convince the others. "They don't understand. They won't do anything." But they were wrong. The humans were already moving quietly and strategically. One human positioned himself near the diner's main door, watching for any escape attempts. Another checked the windows and the walls, ensuring no alien could suddenly attack from behind. Every action was precise, every movement calculated. The dragon girl watched, amazed. Then the first real confrontation happened. The lanky alien who had struck her earlier decided to test the humans. He stepped forward, claws raised, ready to intimidate. "Move away, human," he said, his voice sharp. The dragon girl's tail flicked. She felt fear rise again, but also something stronger, determination. She wanted to stand, to protect herself, but her body shook with the memory of the slap. The human in front of the alien did not flinch. He raised a hand slightly, and the alien stopped mid-step. For a moment, there was silence, heavy and thick, like the calm before a storm. Then the human slowly opened a small device from his belt, a compact tool that emitted a bright, pulsing light. The alien hissed and dropped his claws back to the table, his confidence cracking. The diner held its breath. Other aliens looked at each other nervously, realizing they had underestimated the humans. The dragon girl's eyes widened. She had never seen anyone react like this. Humans did not panic. They did not attack recklessly. They acted with strategy, with intelligence. The aliens whispered quickly, trying to plan, but the humans anticipated every move. One human stepped closer to the dragon girl, motioning her to stand. She hesitated, then took a small step forward, testing her balance. The broken wing ached, but she ignored it. She felt stronger with the humans near her. Another alien tried to provoke her, smirking. "Little dragon, don't you know your place?" The dragon girl's golden eyes flared. She did not answer with words. She simply stood straighter, her tail coiling with power. For the first time, she felt that maybe she could face them, that maybe she could fight back. The humans watched, silent but ready. Their calm presence was like a shield around her. The diner's other patrons, aliens and travelers alike, watched in amazement. The balance of power had shifted. The bullies were no longer in control. Suddenly, the humming from outside returned, louder than before. The red light flashed again through the windows, reflecting on every metal surface in the diner. The dragon girl looked toward the docking bay, feeling the vibration in her chest. Whatever was coming next would change everything. The aliens stepped back, fear beginning to replace arrogance. The dragon girl took a deep breath, her golden eyes fixed on the humans. They had come to help, but she could feel there was more ahead. More danger, more conflict. Her heart pounded in anticipation, but she no longer felt helpless. The humans moved as one, a team of quiet strength and skill. They positioned themselves strategically around the diner, ready for anything. The dragon girl watched them, a spark of hope lighting her eyes. She realized she was no longer alone. For the first time in a long time, she felt that she could survive. Outside, in the void of space, the massive shadow continued to move, and the red light pulsed steadily. The humans sensed it, too. They did not panic. They prepared. And in that preparation, the dragon girl found courage she had never known. The alien bullies whispered among themselves, their fear growing. They had expected an easy target, a helpless dragon girl. Instead, they were faced with humans who were calm, clever, and powerful. The balance had shifted, and the future of the diner, and perhaps the sector, was about to change forever. The dragon girl straightened her spine, her broken wing aching but ignored. She would watch. She would learn. And with the humans here, she felt for the first time that maybe, just maybe, she could fight back. The diner was silent now, except for the soft hum of engines outside. The tension was unbearable, but it was electric. The dragon girl knew this was only the beginning. The humans had arrived, and everything was about to get far more dangerous, and far more exciting. The diner's neon lights reflected in the eyes of the alien bullies, but now those eyes were wide with fear. Their confidence had crumbled, replaced with uncertainty. The dragon girl's golden eyes followed every movement of the humans, her heart pounding in rhythm with the humming that came from outside. Whatever was approaching the diner was massive, but the humans were calm, unshaken, and ready. One of the aliens, the one who had slapped her earlier, hissed under his breath. "Move, we can handle them." His claws twitched, ready to strike. But the humans didn't flinch. They didn't even blink. One of them lifted a small device, which emitted a quiet but bright pulse of energy. The pulse moved across the diner, scanning the aliens in a precise pattern. The alien bully froze mid-step, the pulse crawling over his limbs, and then he stepped back. His arrogance melted away. The dragon girl's chest rose and fell faster. She had never seen anyone move like this. Humans were not reckless. They were precise, calculated, and calm. Her broken wing ached, but she barely noticed. For the first time, she felt she could stand. The aliens whispered furiously, plotting, but the humans anticipated every small movement. One of them positioned himself near the diner door, blocking any escape. Another checked the windows and walls, making sure no sudden attack could happen. Every motion they made was careful, deliberate, and quiet, but powerful. The lanky alien, the ringleader of the bullies, tried to regain his bravado. "You humans think you can stop us? We've faced worse than you." One of the humans stepped forward slowly, his hand raised slightly. "Leave her alone," he said calmly. It was not a threat. It was a statement. The alien hissed in response, claws extended, ready to attack. Then the human pressed a button on a small device. A faint, glowing shield expanded silently in front of him. When the alien lunged, it hit the shield and bounced back slightly, surprise flashing across his face. The diner went silent. Even the other aliens paused, unsure what to do next. The dragon girl's tail curled tightly around her chair. She could feel her courage growing, fueled by the human's presence. She slowly stood, trembling, but standing nonetheless. Her golden eyes locked onto the alien that had hurt her. For the first time, she did not feel fear. The humans didn't attack immediately. They waited, letting the aliens make the first move, reading them carefully. Every twitch, every glance, every nervous whisper told them the aliens were losing control. The diner itself seemed to hold its breath. Suddenly, the humming outside grew louder, a vibration running through the floor. The alien bullies turned instinctively toward the windows. Outside, in the docking bay, a massive ship was hovering, its red lights flashing in a steady, ominous rhythm. The size of it dwarfed everything in the sector. The humming was the sound of its engines, alive with power, like the heartbeat of a giant. The dragon girl's wing twitched involuntarily. She had never seen anything like this. Fear threatened to rise again, but the humans were steady, their movements precise. They did not panic. They readied themselves, and in that steadiness, she found her own courage. The aliens panicked. They whispered furiously, some trying to find an escape route. The humans anticipated this. One moved silently to block the diner's exit. Another raised a small device, projecting a faint blue light that seemed to trap the aliens in place without hurting them. Panic spread among the bullies. The ringleader hissed and lunged toward the dragon girl. But she was no longer helpless. She shifted slightly, using her tail to push the chair between herself and the alien, buying a small moment of space. Her golden eyes burned with determination. For the first time, she was not the victim. The humans acted quickly. One moved behind the alien and pressed a small device to his back. A pulse of energy ran through him, stunning him for a moment, forcing him to drop his claws. Another human stepped forward and projected a faint energy barrier around the other aliens, keeping them contained. The diner was silent except for the humming outside and the rapid breathing of the dragon girl. She straightened fully now, her tail coiling tightly at her side. The humans did not take full action yet. They were careful, controlling, precise. But the message was clear. The aliens were no longer in charge. The dragon girl felt a spark of power, like a fire igniting within her. She could fight, she could resist, she could survive. The massive ship outside shifted slightly, its red lights pulsing faster. The humans glanced at it but did not panic. They were ready, and their calmness gave the dragon girl hope. She realized that with these humans beside her, she could face anything. Even the aliens who had laughed at her, even the massive unknown ship outside, she felt stronger than before. One of the aliens tried to lunge again, but the humans were quicker. Their movements were fluid, precise, almost like a dance of power. The alien stumbled back, fear overtaking arrogance. The dragon girl watched, awe filling her chest. Humans were clever, fearless, and deadly without losing control. The diner itself seemed to vibrate with tension. The alien bullies whispered among themselves, panic in their voices. They had underestimated the humans. They had thought the dragon girl was weak, helpless. They were wrong. The dragon girl took a deep breath. She could feel her broken wing ache, but it no longer mattered. Her eyes scanned the diner, taking in the humans, the aliens, and the humming of the massive ship outside. Everything was connected, and she felt a strange thrill of anticipation. This was her chance, her moment to stand, to survive, to fight. The humans moved closer to her, their presence like a shield of confidence. One of them nodded slightly as if saying, "You can do this." The dragon girl straightened fully, lifting her chin. She was still injured, still vulnerable, but no longer helpless. She had allies, and she was ready to face whatever came next. The alien bullies hesitated. Their arrogance was gone. Fear had replaced it. They glanced nervously at the humans and then at the massive ship outside, and for the first time they realized that the game had changed. The dragon girl was no longer their victim. The humans were no longer just visitors. Something powerful, unstoppable, and clever had arrived. The diner held its breath. The humming outside grew louder. The dragon girl's golden eyes were wide, her chest rising and falling rapidly. The humans were ready. The aliens were trapped by their own fear. And somewhere deep in the docking bay, the massive ship waited, pulsing with red light, promising chaos and challenge. The dragon girl knew one thing for certain. Her life had changed forever. She was no longer alone. She was no longer helpless. And the humans beside her were about to show the aliens, and perhaps the galaxy, that even a small group of clever, determined beings could turn fear into power and helplessness into hope. The diner lights flickered once more. Outside, the massive ship loomed like a shadow of doom. Inside, humans and a dragon girl stood together. And the first real battle was about to begin. The diner's lights flickered as the tension reached its peak. The alien bullies were cornered, their arrogance replaced with panic. Every movement they made was calculated, hesitant, because the humans were precise and quick. The dragon girl's golden eyes were wide with both fear and anticipation. She had never felt so alive. Her broken wing ached, but adrenaline pulsed through her veins, making her forget the pain. The humans moved like a single unit, silent but powerful. One of them projected a faint energy barrier that blocked the aliens' escape toward the door. Another moved behind the largest bully, holding a compact device that hummed with controlled energy. The aliens' attempts to lunge or intimidate were met with calm, flawless precision. The lanky alien who had slapped the dragon girl earlier hissed, "You think a few humans can stop us? We are stronger, faster." He lunged, claws extended. One of the humans raised a hand, and the device on his belt activated. A pulse of blue energy shot out, striking the alien squarely. The alien froze, claws twitching uselessly in the air, then stumbled back. Panic flashed in his eyes. For the first time, he realized that strength alone could not win against intelligence, planning, and skill. The dragon girl watched, amazed. Humans were not just fighters, they were strategists. They did not need to strike hard or fast. They needed to be clever. Her heart swelled with courage. She moved slightly, testing her balance. Her tail flicked defensively, her golden eyes glinting with determination. She was ready to act if necessary. The other aliens tried to regroup, whispering furiously. "We need to get out of here," one of them shouted. But the humans anticipated this. Another pulse of energy shot across the diner, cutting off any escape routes. The aliens were trapped. Their fear grew. Outside, the humming from the massive ship intensified. Its red lights flashed faster, casting ominous shadows across the diner walls. The vibration in the floor was strong now, like the heartbeat of a giant creature ready to strike. The aliens glanced at the windows, their panic rising. They had underestimated the humans and underestimated the danger from the outside. The dragon girl's wings twitched involuntarily, her broken wing aching sharply. But she did not step back. The human's presence gave her strength. She could fight. She could resist. She could survive. The lanky alien, desperate, lunged again. This time, the dragon girl acted. She pushed herself off the chair, her tail coiling for balance. She swung her good wing, knocking over a small table in the alien's path. The noise startled him, giving the humans the opening they needed. A human stepped forward, pressing a small device to the alien's back. A controlled pulse of energy ran through him, stunning him. The alien stumbled forward, falling to the floor. The other bullies hesitated, unsure whether to attack or run. The dragon girl felt a surge of power. She could act, and she did. She flapped her wings slightly, enough to move her body with speed. She swung her tail, knocking another alien into a chair. The humans did not intervene. They let her act, letting her gain confidence and strength. The diner erupted into chaos. Tables tipped, chairs slid, and alien patrons backed away, unsure what to do. The humans moved calmly, positioning themselves strategically, intercepting any aggressive moves. The dragon girl darted forward, her broken wing aching but ignored. She had never felt more alive. The massive ship outside shifted, its lights flashing wildly. The humming became deafening, vibrating through the walls and tables. The humans glanced at it but did not panic. They moved with precision, guiding the dragon girl to safety while controlling the aliens. The alien bullies' whispers turned to screams. "We underestimated them," one shouted. "We cannot win." The dragon girl's eyes glimmered. She was no longer helpless. She had humans beside her, clever, strong, fearless humans. She had her own courage, growing with every movement. Together, they were unstoppable. One of the humans gestured toward the docking bay, indicating something outside. The dragon girl looked and saw the massive ship moving closer. Its red lights flashed like warning signals, and its engines hummed with immense power. But she did not feel fear now. She felt ready. She had allies, and she had strength she had never known. The alien bullies tried one last desperate attack. They lunged toward the humans, claws extended, teeth bared. But the humans were ready. One released a pulse of energy, sending two of the aliens sprawling backward. Another human moved with lightning speed, using precise strikes to disable the remaining attackers. The dragon girl moved alongside them, her tail swinging, her wings flapping to maintain balance. Together, they were a force the aliens could not match. Finally, the last alien stumbled and fell to the floor, breathing heavily. Their arrogance was gone. Only fear remained. The humans stood calm, quiet, and ready. The dragon girl's heart pounded, but it was not fear. It was adrenaline, courage, and excitement. She had faced her tormentors and survived. She had acted, she had fought, and she had grown stronger. Outside, the massive ship loomed closer, its red lights pulsing in rhythm with its engines. The dragon girl glanced at the humans, who moved as a team, ready to face whatever came next. She understood now. This was only the beginning. The conflict was far from over. The diner was a mess. Tables overturned, chairs scattered, alien patrons frozen in awe. But the humans and the dragon girl stood together, victorious for the moment. Her golden eyes gleamed with newfound confidence. She was no longer the victim. She was part of a force that could stand against anyone, no matter how powerful. The alien bullies slinked toward the exit, defeated, humiliated, and afraid. The humans did not chase them. Their presence alone had been enough to turn the tide. The dragon girl straightened her spine, her broken wing aching but ignored. She had learned something invaluable. Courage could be found even in the darkest moments, and strength came not just from power, but from intelligence, strategy, and unity. As the humming outside grew louder, the dragon girl looked toward the massive ship with anticipation. Humans had saved her today, but she knew the real challenge was yet to come. Whatever waited outside, whatever threat hovered in the darkness of space, she would face it. And this time she would not be alone. The diner, once filled with laughter and mockery, was now silent except for the quiet breathing of the dragon girl and the humans beside her. The alien bullies had been humbled, but the galaxy beyond the diner doors promised even greater tests. And the dragon girl, strengthened by humans' cleverness and courage, was ready for them all. The diner lay in a tense silence after the chaotic scuffle. Tables were overturned, chairs scattered, and the alien bullies were slinking toward the exits, humiliated and afraid. But the battle inside was only a fragment of the danger that waited beyond the diner doors. The massive ship outside pulsed red light, vibrating the floor with a deep, powerful hum. The dragon girl's golden eyes flicked toward it, her broken wing aching but irrelevant now. She had survived the first test. She had stood. She had fought. And she was ready for more. The humans did not rest. They moved with calm purpose, scanning the diner and its perimeter. One human approached the dragon girl and nodded, a small gesture of encouragement. She straightened her spine, her chest rising with newfound courage. She was no longer a passive victim. The humans had shown her that strength came not only from skill but from unity and cleverness. "Are you ready?" one of the humans asked softly, not with alarm, but with quiet intensity. The dragon girl nodded. Her tail twitched, and she shifted her stance, testing her balance. Her broken wing gave a sharp ache, but she ignored it. For the first time in her life, she felt capable. She could fight alongside these humans. She could face what came next. Outside, the massive ship shifted slightly, moving into a more threatening position. Its red lights flashed faster, casting long, ominous shadows into the diner. The humming of its engines grew louder, vibrating through the walls and the floor. It was alive, almost sentient, and ready to strike. The humans noticed it too, but there was no panic. Only preparation, strategy, and determination. The alien bullies, still nearby, hesitated. They glanced at the dragon girl, at the humans, and then back at the looming ship outside. Fear was etched into their features. Their earlier confidence had been shattered. The dragon girl's chest rose and fell steadily, her golden eyes glowing with determination. She was no longer helpless. One of the humans stepped aside, motioning for the dragon girl to move closer to the diner doors. She obeyed, her tail coiling around her for balance, her wings trembling but lifting her slightly with each step. She felt the power of the humans beside her, a calm strength that steadied her nerves. She could do this. She had to. Suddenly, the ship outside let out a low, pulsating roar. The red lights flashed violently, and a vibration shook the diner so violently that a few chairs toppled. The humans adjusted instantly, moving to protect the dragon girl and maintain their formation. They were precise, almost mechanical in their coordination, and their calmness emboldened her. The dragon girl took a deep breath. She could feel the power of the massive ship, but she also felt something else, her own courage, growing with each beat of her heart. She flexed her claws, her tail whipping lightly, and prepared herself. The humans had given her strength, but now it was time for her to act too. The aliens, seeing her move with confidence, tried to lunge once more. But she did not flinch. She twisted her body, swinging her tail with precision, knocking one alien off balance. She used her good wing to push herself forward, dodging attacks, while her claws struck with newfound accuracy. The humans did not intervene. They let her fight, letting her courage shine and grow. One human activated a small energy pulse that swept across the diner floor, disarming and stunning the remaining bullies. Another human projected a barrier, trapping the aliens and cutting off any escape. The dragon girl's eyes sparkled with determination. Together, she and the humans were unstoppable. She moved faster, dodging, striking, and using her body cleverly, while the humans coordinated flawlessly around her. Outside, the massive ship's engines pulsed faster, and its shadow grew darker against the stars. It was preparing for action, and the dragon girl could feel the intensity building in the room. The humans did not panic. They moved with strategy, guiding the dragon girl toward the door while containing the aliens inside. The tension was electric. Every breath felt like a countdown. The alien bullies tried one last desperate attack, lunging toward the humans and the dragon girl. But she was ready. She twisted her body midair, using her tail to knock one back, and her wing gave her balance as she moved with speed. The humans were precise, disabling the other attackers without a single wasted move. The diner was chaos, but it was chaos under control. A dance of strategy, strength, and courage. Finally, the last alien collapsed to the floor, panting heavily. The arrogance that had filled the room hours ago was gone. Only fear remained, mixed with awe at the human skill and the dragon girl's newfound courage. She stood tall, her broken wings still aching, but her heart full of fire. She had acted. She had defended herself. She had grown stronger. The humans stepped aside, giving her a small nod of approval. The dragon girl felt pride for the first time in her life. She was no longer just a victim. She had power, courage, and allies beside her. She could face danger, she could survive, and she could fight back. Outside, the massive ship loomed closer, its engines pulsing like a living heartbeat. The humans moved toward the diner exit, signaling her to follow. The dragon girl's tail twitched with excitement, and she stepped forward. She was ready. Together, she and the humans would face whatever came next. The diner, once filled with laughter and mockery, was now a battlefield cleared of bullies. The dragon girl stood in the center, her golden eyes glowing with determination. The humans flanked her, ready for the challenge that awaited outside. The red lights from the massive ship flashed violently against the diner walls. Its humming grew louder, almost deafening. The dragon girl felt a thrill run through her chest. The humans had saved her, taught her, and empowered her. But the real test was beyond the doors, waiting in the shadows of space. And this time she would not be helpless. She was ready. She had courage. She had humans beside her. and she had the fire of her own spirit, burning brighter than ever before. The battle was far from over, but the dragon girl no longer feared what was coming. She would fight, she would survive, and she would prove that even the smallest, weakest, or most injured could stand strong with courage, cleverness, and allies who believed in them. The diner doors slid open with a hiss, letting the cold vacuum of space press against the interior. The red lights from the massive ship outside flashed violently, reflecting off every metal surface and casting long, ominous shadows. The humming from its engines vibrated through the floor, through the walls, and through the dragon girl's chest. She clenched her claws, her broken wing aching, but her golden eyes burned with determination. She had faced bullies, had grown stronger, and now the real test awaited. The humans moved calmly, flanking her on either side. Their toolkits and devices glimmered faintly under the neon lights. One human gestured toward the docking bay. The dragon girl understood without words. It was time to face the unknown threat together. Her tail twitched in anticipation. Her wings lifted her slightly, ready for flight, for action, for survival. The massive ship shifted again, moving closer to the diner. Its red lights pulsed faster, synchronized with the deep hum of its engines. It was alive, or at least it felt alive, and it radiated power. The humans did not panic. They moved with precision, preparing for every possible attack. The dragon girl's heart raced. She had never felt so alive. Suddenly, the ship unleashed a pulse of energy that rippled through space, striking the exterior of the diner. The windows rattled, the floor vibrated violently, and alien patrons shrank back in fear. But the humans remained calm. One activated a small device, projecting a protective shield that absorbed the impact. Another human gestured, signaling the dragon girl to follow closely. She nodded, flapping her wings despite the pain, and moved with agility beside them. The massive ship's engines pulsed even faster. It was preparing for a full assault. The humans scanned it quickly, analyzing its weak points with their advanced tools. The dragon girl watched them, all mixing with excitement. These humans were brilliant, clever, and fearless. She had learned courage from them, but now she was part of the action herself. Without warning, the ship fired again. This time, energy beams streaked toward the diner. The humans moved like a single unit, deflecting, blocking, and redirecting the attacks with precision. The dragon girl twisted midair, swinging her tail to knock a smaller piece of debris into the path of a beam, disrupting it just enough. The aliens outside the diner, who had been watching from nearby ships, gasped in disbelief. Humans, and a single dragon girl, were holding their own against a massive vessel. The dragon girl felt a surge of confidence. Her broken wing throbbed, but she ignored it. She could fight. She could resist. She could survive. Together with the humans, she had become something unstoppable. She darted forward, her claws striking at mechanical panels on the exterior doors, opening them wider. The humans followed, guiding her, protecting her, but letting her take initiative. The massive ship's engines roared, and its shadow fell over the diner completely. Red light flashed violently through the open doors, bathing the humans and dragon girl in a fierce glow. The dragon girl lifted her wings fully, launching herself toward the docking bay, humans following closely. The floor vibrated beneath her as if the ship's presence had become a living heartbeat. They reached the edge of the docking bay, and the dragon girl finally saw it fully. The ship was enormous, sleek, and bristling with energy weapons. Its hull glimmered with alien technology unlike anything she had ever seen. But the humans were undeterred. They moved methodically, scanning the ship, finding weaknesses, and preparing for the attack. The dragon girl clenched her teeth and took a deep breath. She could feel the adrenaline surging through her body. Her wings flapped powerfully despite the injury. Her tail coiled for balance, and her claws flexed with determination. She was not alone. She had humans beside her. She had courage, and she had the fire within herself. One human pressed a small device to a control panel on the ship. A pulse of energy surged outward, disrupting part of its defense systems. Another human launched a series of compact energy blasts, precise and controlled, targeting vulnerable points. The massive ship reeled, its red lights flickering in confusion. The Dragon Girl moved alongside them, striking with claws, flapping to dodge incoming beams, and using her tail to block attacks. The aliens watching from nearby vessels panicked. They had heard of humans before, but to see them confront a massive, advanced ship alongside a single Dragon Girl was beyond their understanding. It was proof that strength alone was not everything. Intelligence, courage, strategy, and unity could overcome any odds. The ship's engines roared, shaking the docking bay violently. The humans and the Dragon Girl pressed forward, moving as one, calculated and unstoppable. With a final coordinated strike, a combination of human tech and dragon agility, the massive ship shuddered, sparks flying from its hull. A loud, mechanical groan echoed through space as the vessel's systems began to fail. The Dragon Girl felt her chest swell with pride and exhilaration. She had faced torment, helplessness, and fear. She had acted alongside humans who were clever, fearless, and precise. And together, they had turned the tide against a threat that should have been impossible to defeat. The massive ship's lights dimmed, and it slowly drifted backward, retreating from the docking bay. The humans maintained their positions, scanning for any final threats, but the danger had passed, for now. The Dragon Girl landed carefully, her wings folding against her body, her tail curling around her for balance. Her heart was still racing, but her chest felt lighter. She had survived. She had fought. She had grown stronger. The humans turned toward her, giving small nods of approval and encouragement. She smiled faintly, golden eyes shining with gratitude and pride. She was no longer helpless. She was no longer alone. She was part of something greater, a force of cleverness, courage, and determination that could face even the greatest threats. The diner, battered but intact, was quiet now. The alien bullies were gone, humiliated and fearful. The massive ship outside had retreated, and the Dragon Girl, once timid and afraid, now stood tall and proud, her golden eyes glinting in the neon lights. She had survived, learned courage, and proven that even those who seemed weak could rise and stand strong when allies and strategy were at their side. As the humans prepared to leave, the Dragon Girl looked toward the stars. She knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of threats, mysteries, and adventures. But she would face them all. Not as a helpless Dragon Girl, but as a dragon with courage, allies, and the fire of her own spirit burning brighter than ever before. And somewhere deep in the void of space, the faint hum of the retreating ship lingered, a reminder that the universe was dangerous, unpredictable, and full of challenge. But for the Dragon Girl and the humans beside her, no threat would ever be too great. Together, they were unstoppable. The Dragon Girl spread her wings slightly, feeling the ache in her broken wing, but also feeling strength she had never known. She was ready. The humans beside her were ready. And the galaxy, vast and mysterious, awaited.